please.
Mayor Hicks.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Quintana.
Here.
Councilor Sandoval.
Here.
Councilor Dickens.
Here.
Councilor Lewis.
Here.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hoorah! The first two want to talk when their item comes up, so we'll go to Corey Cash. Oh, yes, sorry about that.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the agenda for Tuesday, May.
Second. Councilor Cameron?
Yes.
Councilor Sandoval? Yes. Councilor Dickens?
Yes.
Councilor Lewis?
Yes.
There we go. Now go ahead, Corey. Sorry about that.
Afternoon, gentlemen. I talked a little bit with Marty today, so we kind of answered a few of my questions, but I'm going to be a squeaky wheel for the next couple of months until we get some of this resolved. The roads are falling apart in this city. I'm sure everybody's well aware of that. One of the things that I'm kind of getting fed up with all the speed bumps that we have in town. I don't think that any of our roads need speed bumps considering how rough they are. You can't even get up to the speed limit they are. But I pull trucks and trailers, tool trailers all over this town, and my trailers are just getting beat up by all the speed bumps and the roads. So I know Marty had talked about he's putting together something so we can get some of these actually engineered so that if the speed limit's 25 or 35, we can continue to stay 25 or 35 and not slow down below 10 miles an hour on some of these roads that are posted 25 miles an hour. I see the agenda. You guys have a lot on your plate, but I mean the city's falling apart slowly, the infrastructure. It's something that needs to be addressed, and if I have to be here being a squeaky wheel for the next year, I'll be there. And if there's something I can do to help, let me know. I've got a loader that can knock out half these speed bumps, but I don't know if that'll work out or not. So that's all that I had for tonight. Just kind of be a bug in your ear until we get some resolutions or some answers or some questions done. So I know Marty had some stuff he was going to try to put together for the next time, so hopefully he'll keep me in the loop and we'll go from there.
Our road department will handle that, not Marty. Okay.
Okay. Who's on the road department?
That would be Manuel Blea. Just depending. You can go right through it.
Okay.
Okay. That's the road department. Marty is going to be on the roads.
Okay. Yeah, he said he had something put together for some speed bumps or something, but if we have to go a different route, we'll go that way.
Yeah, we've already sent them the training on how to redo them. You'll notice we've been taking them out, putting in the ones that make it a little smoother to go over.
I haven't noticed, so, and I noticed you guys put white rumble strips before them, but almost those are all gone too, so that was kind of a waste of taxpayer dollars there. I hope that we don't redo that, because that was just kind of a waste of tax.
We won't.
So,
It's not in the plan, and I wasn't aware that they were going to do that before they did it.
right.
We were trying some different things to give people warning for those speed bumps coming up, and you know, these things that we're trying in here, they don't work, we'll try something else.
You know, we're not the first city that has put speed bumps in, so we might be able to go off of some of the other engineering that they've already used, and be able to use that. I don't know if we can.
Yeah, we've been looking at different speed bumps on there's a book out there that has and Eddie probably knows more about what that book is, that has to do with regulations for roads and that type of thing, and they have different speed bumps in there. I was in Phoenix about a month and a half ago. Went through different city streets in the Scottsdale area. They had some speed bumps in there where I could drive my entire extended cab Ford pickup on top of, and I actually called the city in Scottsdale to ask them why they built them like that, and it was because to reduce torque claims. They built them that way. So
You mean high or longer?
long, it's longer than even those crosswalks we have. Twice as long as those raised crosswalks.
What's the point?
Reduce torque claims because of the speed bumps that you come over like this, and people go too fast on them, they hit bottom.
On these ones, they don't do that, they're up on top, then they come back the other side.
It could be a possible solution. I mean, there are places in this town where we need speed bumps.
Yeah, I'd say kids will take precedent over the trailer when it comes.
No, I understand
Residential areas,
around schools and stuff, I understand, but when it's posted 25 and we have to slow down to 10, I mean, what's the point of having a speed limit? We might as well just put 10 miles an hour all over town and let the police to write tickets all over for going over the speed limit.
Well, if you'll notice on the agenda tonight, there's other things that the police are doing way
Right.
more important.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, there are other
Okay.
important things, but
I mean,
without
believe me,
infrastructure,
Corey,
we don't have a city. So.
Believe me, Corey, we are as busy a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest that we're trying to get to as best as we
I
can.
understand.
And I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, once we get the golf course taken care of, there'll be money there that'll go to the roads. We do have plans for the roads. It's in the budget this year, which we're gonna discuss a little later.
Perfect.
But we are moving forward, I promise you. We're
Very
not
good.
just gonna sit on our hands and say we're doing something and not do nothing,
Very good.
okay?
And every extra penny that we have usually goes to the roads.
Cool. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, next, Jack Farley. He's gonna be a bug in my ear too. He's correct for the same thing.
I'm coming at the same thing. Yes, sir. They haven't been a thing done up there. I have seen nobody up there to look at it. And I don't know if you know the seriousness of it or not.
We do,
But if
Jack,
somebody
and
called-
and me and Paul both went and looked at it. We're fixing to change the library parking there, and where it all says library staff parking, those are gonna be handicap parking, and they will enter through the back where it's all smooth up into the,
Okay, it's, if you'll come up, I can show you how, it'd be easy to fix. You know where the trash can's sitting there on the left?
yes,
Move that over
that's
to the
exactly
side.
what we talked about.
And you could you could get 2 handicap parking spaces there real easy.
Yes,
And if people call me and ask me about the handicap parking, I have no choice but to tell them we don't have it.
yeah.
And you know what that means if the
We're
lawsuit
gonna take
comes
care
up.
of that within the next 2 weeks.
And also, we want to put a sign in the front there, where they come to the front, a sign saying
Where
that,
they're at.
that parking around back, handicap and parking for museum around back.
Okay, and if you don't mind, put one in front, right, you know where the parking lot's at, right in front? Put a sign there that they can see, because right now you have to drive all the way on the parking lot before you can see the signs.
Yeah, no, we're gonna put it in the front where you turn off of Santa Fe to the
Yes.
front of the museum. We're gonna put one there
Good.
in the front of the building, yeah,
Well, thank you very much.
yeah.
We're on it, Jack.
Okay.
Ray Saavedra? Hoorah, Ray.
Same old, just needed an update on what's going on. You know, nobody's contacted me or nothing on what's been going on. So, I just want some answers.
You mean as far as us staffing our police department?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit more leadership.
We're working on it.
Okay.
We are working on it, Ray. We have not forgotten, believe me.
Okay.
I know that this is not no pacifier to the whole situation either, but I feel what you're going through right now, because I just got 2 bikes stolen from my backyard a couple days ago, and the crime's everywhere. And it's sad. I mean, now my little boy doesn't have a bike, you know, so that's very unfortunate. We're gonna try to get a leash on this as quickly as we can, and see if we can get good law enforcement in our town.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Thomas Wilson.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, ladies and gentlemen. I just got a couple of questions. The first one is about the golf course. We saved the city $250,000 by not renewing the golf carts, right? Or thereabouts. Is our water bill going to go down? That's $250,000, according to the paper. And I see
That doesn't save us a dime.
that doesn't save a dime.
No. Okay,
Wow.
we budget $750,000 to $900,000 a year for the golf course every year. If the golf course happens to make $80,000, $90,000, even $100,000, Well, then, instead of being $750,000 in the hole, we're only $650,000 in the hole. And the way the budget's set up now, we have one more payment on the golf carts in July. We have one in June and one in July. At that point, they're paid for, and that lease goes away, and that's $48,000 a month.
Yes, sir.
Or a year. And that goes away, so that's a savings.
But is our water bill gonna go down? I mean, if you say that
Your
you.
water bill's not gonna go down because we're still paying through the nose for the golf course.
Okay.
And once we get the golf course taken care of, we're gonna use that extra money to fix streets, not to take your water bill down, sorry. But, because I noticed you got Gold Avenue there too.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we do that, we're not gonna give it back to you on your water bill, we're gonna give it to you in fixing roads and sewer systems.
Well, on the Gold Avenue part, it was one, you answered my question about the golf course. Well, thank you, Mayor. But on Gold Avenue there, we really need a speed bump.
There it is, Corey. You know how many people come in and say they want speed bumps now?
Let's do one right.
They come off
For
the
the
street,
first
what we call
time.
Loma. They come off the Loma and don't even stop at that stop sign. And make a right-hand turn down Gold.
Yes, you need to slide.
They fly down Gold Street. And my next thing about Gold Street is there's an abandoned building on the corner of Gold and Warren that is not closed off all the way. I mean,
It was, and it was broke into.
Yep.
And that one is on our next hit list, right?
I hope so.
Yes, it is. No, I guarantee it is, because we've got a certain number that are coming up now, and I'll guarantee that one because I've taken both of these gentlemen by their hand, and I've showed them that building, and that building is one of the ones that are coming down now in this next abatement.
I don't remember her name, but there's a lady that lives
Irene
on
Mons.
Warren Street.
Irene Mons.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She could not use her heater this winter, her fireplace, or her wood stove because of that.
Yes, we're gonna take care of it.
Okay. Good deal.
It's on the hit list coming.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
y'all,
thank you. Okay, on to the action items. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make a public comment about our charter compliance? Any discussion on charter? Once again, I'll say we're in compliance with the charter.
I'd like to add something.
Go ahead, Ruben.
We went to court with the last council member that was here, for the two positions that he had. That was never finalized. We need to see if we can finalize it.
It's still in the court, and we just had another meeting with them, and whenever Judge Camille gets to it.
But it's not, is it still costing us?
Oh, yes, it's still costing us every time them lawyers come over here and meet with her.
That's why we need to.
We need to finalize it just like the other ones. And we'll discuss that further in the executive session.
Talk about wasting taxpayers' dollars.
I'm with you, baby. I'm with you. Next, regular city council meeting? Minutes?
We have a amendment to it, I guess, a change. On, I believe, page 3. On well repair 1, the recommended option was 2, and it should have been recommended option 3.
Okay.
Yes, that's right.
Is there any other corrections to the minutes? No other corrections? I'll entertain a motion with that correction to page number 3, well repair.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept the minutes with that correction of from option 2 to option 3. Well,
Councilor Quintana?
yes.
Councilor Sandoval?
Yes.
Councilor Dickens?
Yes.
Councilor Lewis?
Yes.
Next, I recommend we table this. I'll entertain a motion to table this. He didn't even show, and I really didn't want that on the agenda tonight anyway. It's probably why he didn't show.
Talking about the water line.
Yes.
I'll recommend we table it till next session.
Second.
Councilor Quintana?
Yes.
Councilor Sandoval?
Yes.
Councilor Dickens?
Yes.
Councilor Lewis?
Yes.
Cemetery Board, come on up there. Fred, Barbara came to give you support, so you can come on up.
Mr. Mayor, Council, Mr. Peña, and our city clerk, we never acknowledge her,
Yeah, we do. I bring her a Coke every meeting, man.
Guys, I got a few items here that need to be addressed in the cemetery. First of all, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the wall between the intersection and the regular cemetery on the west side. About 2 years ago, it fell over because the sprinklers hit it, weakened the wall, knocked it all down, out blocks all over the place. Last week there was a funeral in the urn section, and there are some people sitting on the block there, the block fell off. I mean, could have hit somebody in the foot. And my question to you guys, shall we take that wall down? Is it feasible to build it or knock it down?
Fred, we're gonna get someone in there to look at that, because I don't think we need to knock it down. Barbara, what do you think?
Well, there's parts of it that are really bad.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about it, and I looked over there Friday, and I was thinking that we ought to just rebuild it and put a gate in it that would connect those two sections,
I don't
the
think
children's
there's any
section to.
rebar in it or any cement, and the blocks are just there, really. And a lot of them are not stable at all.
It's the whole wall, it's over 300 feet.
Yeah, we'll redo the whole wall. That's what
But
I'm
somebody that knows about
Yes,
that
ma'am.
type of thing needs to look at it.
That's
But
what-
it doesn't have rebar.
We got you. We'll take care of that wall either one way or another. And if we took it out, would we be able to get any more plots in it? No.
The water line right next to it.
There it is. So we'll just rebuild the line and we'll rebuild that wall, Fred, and we'll put a gate in it.
Okay.
A nice, pretty gate.
It's
Okay.
a hazard now, so.
Yeah, no problem. We'll take care of it.
Okay, another thing, on the front gate, when they built them last year, they put them on the wrong side. What happened was they put the gate going in on the right side, and the walk-through gate is right there. When the gate is open, the big gate is open.
It blocks the lock through gate.
Sure, because there's a big cement curb right in the middle.
Put that on your list before.
Find out who did it.
Okay.
The drive-through gate,
That was the
the
second
walk-through gate right there is like.
And there's a curb right in the middle there, so they can get a handicap person there.
No, when you open up the driveway, you block off the
One block the walking gate. Okay?
Another thing, guys, on that new section that they're rebuilding now, it looks great, beautiful. But the gate, the fence adjoining it belongs to the Lears, I think. And all that trash is bulging right through the fences. I mean, you guys gotta look at it to really understand it. Right, Wayne?
Yes, sir. Make it a point to go.
That fence
Is
is
that our
bulging
fence,
into
Wayne?
our areas.
What was that, Mike?
Is it our fence?
I don't know if it's ours or it's the Lears right there behind the nursery.
I mean, it's
Back
bad.
there by J&J.
All that trash is flying in.
Marty, can you check on that?
That's something.
That's what it is.
Okay. Go ahead, Brett, make another one.
Okay, the paving, I know it costs a lot of money, guys, but we need to pay part of that cemetery. All we got is millings, and the guy's watering it. Of course, it's gonna get water, and it's just sinking in, and it puddles all over the
You're
place.
talking about that section that we were looking at Friday? That one
Section
road
E,
that comes around?
Section E, right there, by the apartment,
Yeah.
going into the apartment.
You know, what we, look at doing that hole when we resurface Truman Park.
Another thing, guys, we came up with.
You got money in your budget, Fred?
I don't know, but,
Yeah, you do, man, don't worry about it, I know you do. Go ahead.
prices for plots. I've checked in Albuquerque, Los Lunas, Santa Fe, Belen, Yellow, and we're the lowest. But of course, I've brought it up for the council before, and we raised it for out-of-town people. But we didn't raise it for the city or for the county or stuff like that. Right now, we're the lowest.
How much? How far?
Okay, for the city resident, is $300.
What's the average of these other communities?
14 to 21.
$1,400.
And that's not counting the
We're not gonna
opening
go
and
that high.
closing,
No, that's way too
We're not
much.
going that high.
you know, but I'm just saying that that's what it is. You know, we proposed $300 for the city of Grant, going up to $500. That's $200 raise for that one.
Why don't you give us that in writing, Fred?
Sure.
And that way we'll take a little time and look at it, and then see what we're gonna do with that.
Sure.
Give us to us in writing on each plot, what you wanna do, resident, county resident, out of state, out of town, whatever.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. And if you would, put the fence in that deal, and that way we have something to go ahead and compare it with your budget, the fence and the paving of that road. And that way we can take care of this thing.
Okay.
Okay?
And something, that was it for now. Something that came up to me today, I got a phone call. Somebody saw OMI selling some flowers in the main drag there, and said, how come we don't get flowers over there? So I checked, and they weren't ordered. I don't know why, but I talked to Jamie Holton, and she said she didn't know anything about it. So I was hoping, because I called her about 4 months ago, asking her if she could give me some flowers for the cemetery.
Yeah, we ordered some for the Friendship Park and stuff. We'll just order some more for that. That's no big deal. It's still a little early because
Yeah, but they
we
wanted
went down there at the.
You have money in your budget for flowers.
No problem.
Maybe we ought to spend some of it, huh?
You bet, might as well.
Might as well, yeah.
We'll get you some flowers, Fred.
Thank you.
Without a doubt. Chief Sena, you're up, baby. You gotta give us an update.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, City Manager. Lieutenant Castaneda is going to be handing out some papers on the DA's list that was given to him, and he will explain exactly what he's been doing in the case and where we're at this point.
I don't know if you wanted to take a minute to look at it.
Did we complete the DA's list?
If you look on the second to the last page, the bullets, says items that need to be done. There's only 5 items left. Keep in mind that these are items that need to be sent off and brought back. It's not like a grocery list where you can just go down aisle 8 and pick them up. These are items that have to be sent to the lab.
Okay, I understand that, but there's no reason, no excuse whatsoever for this list to still be sitting here 3.5 years later. This is where I'm at, John. If it was my brother, if it was my son, my daughter, I would have already dealt with it, and you guys would be dealing with me. And I'm surprised with what we've got going on in our town that other people, we don't have vigilantes running around out there. That's where I'm at on this, John.
I totally understand and agree with you.
I mean, there's no excuse for this, and we still have 5 items left on a list that was 28, 29 items? 25 items? So how much longer do you think before we turn this over to the DA?
If you read on there, the DA, I talked with the DA, they're going to set up an interview with Dr. Aurelius, who is the OMI doctor.
Have you seen these?
I'm sorry?
Have you seen these?
I don't know what you're holding, sir.
They're the photos of Mr. Campbell's brother.
I have everything.
So you've seen these?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On these suspects,
Easy on that. You don't wanna.
were they originally around to be interviewed and weren't interviewed, or have you never located them to begin with?
They're still trying to be, we're still trying to locate them at this time, and they are fugitives because they have warrants at this time.
Okay, I understand that.
At the same time, yes.
But, so from the very beginning.
From the very
they've been
beginning.
on the land.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Campbell, you got anything you want to add to that?
Sure, I do.
Well, first off, good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm here again to speak about my murder of my brother Dave Campbell. I've gone into detail on 2 other occasions with the City Council meetings about my ordeal and what I've gone through to get an arrest made. I still believe, even with all the exposure in the case that has been received in the recent months, the Grants Police Department continues to be incompetent in their investigation. 2 weeks ago, Mr. Mayor, you gave instructions to John Castaneda to finish gathering the evidence requested by the District Attorney's Office. You specified to Chief Sena to make sure that he complies with the request, even if he had to hold his hand. I would like to see where they're at on this case. I would also like to add to that I have contacted, through special ways, the crime lab in Santa Fe, and my brother's fingernail clippings, his clothes were never sent there. These are things that...
Affairs aside, to make sure that this gets done. But if I do not have cooperation from the victim to get some pertinent information, there's no way that I can continue to go forward.
John, stop right there. From January 1st month in 2012 to January 2014, what was done? Because according to what I'm looking at right here in front of me, you're still searching for suspects. But this list that I got from the DA, you did in the last 2 weeks.
That's because me and the chief got together to get this done. You guys don't want to hear about the manpower excuse? That's what happened. We need manpower in order to get a lot of this stuff done. At that time, there was one detective, and it was me.
What about the evidence that Mr. Campbell's speaking about? Where is it?
That evidence, I really can't talk about.
Why not? It's a City Council meeting.
Excuse me, don't holler at me, please. I've
Where
not
is
hollered
it?
at
All I
you.
want to know is where is it at? If it's not at the state's evidence, where is it? Is it in our evidence?
We do have it, sir. Yes, sir. And it was never...
3.5 years later.
Am I going to talk, or is he going to talk?
Hang on, Bill, you got to be quiet there. Go ahead, John.
You got it.
Thank you. That is something that we are determining. If the DAs want it set down, I know that it was part of the list, but it's something that me and Sue have talked about, and it is being determined at this time.
What do you mean determining?
What are you talking about?
If the DA requested it, what do you mean determining?
We're determining if they will accept it because they're looking for DNA under the fingernails. And if the lab will not accept it, then why are we going to waste the time to send it? So I got to check with the labs. I let the DA know that because there are certain things that they won't take.
3 years later, John.
I totally understand,
3 years
Mayor,
later,
that
John.
it
This
was
is
3
where I
years
keep coming
later.
back to, it is a homicide. Okay?
It's not determined a homicide yet.
When you look at these photos, John, there's no doubt in my mind. Okay?
Well,
And I've seen dead bodies, John. A bunch
so
of
have I. I've been on
Okay,
this
a bunch
job
of
for 16 years, Mayor.
And
And
like
I
I
know
said-
exactly what each item looks like. I'm working the items, I'm working the
What
case.
I've got here is very, very sorry. Okay? It's very sorry. The work that's been done is very sorry, very shoddy. And the excuses I've been given don't fly. Okay? Now what about the evidence room here? Ms. Raines, you want to come up and talk on that? Please?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lisa Raines. I'm John's mom. Okay. Chief said the last time we were here said that Officer Marquez did a very good case on my son's job, on my son's case. That he done a very good job. No, he didn't. He did not, and I have proof. I have proof of this. And if this is what is considered a good job, then this town, GPD, is way worse off than this town ever thought it was. That's very scary. if you want to know where GPD is dropping the ball and where they're doing things wrong, the first place to start, in my estimation, would be the DA's office. They live this, they breathe this, they sleep it. They know exactly what these guys have not been doing or what they've not been doing right. You can call them. If they don't want to talk to you, I suggest you sit in on a trial that GPD has investigated. And if that's not enough, sit in on a trial they haven't investigated. Compare. You'll see right away what's going on. That there's a lot of things that haven't been done properly. I can show you this stuff. I can sit down and show you guys this stuff privately. I cannot speak about it today in public because I have trial coming in August. But if you'd like to, I'd like to schedule a meeting with you, Mr. Mayor, and I can show you everything that I'm talking about. So I am requesting one from you. My husband and I were lied to by Officer Spidell, Detective Spidell. I don't know what these guys are called, okay? I'm politically incorrect, and I do apologize about that. But Officer Spidell and Officer Moses lied to me and my husband. Right away from the get-go, Spidell was introduced to us as our lead detective. We told her right away, we did not want Moses on our case. We didn't want him there. That was right away. We told her that. She told us, okay. She retires, it goes away. Then she gets up here and says that Moses, after that Moses is taken over, basically he's the lead detective on this. But he's told us he was lead detective all along. Who was it? Spidell? Was it Marcus? Now, I know that in this evidence custody, it is the evidence custodian's job to turn this in. But is it not also the responsibility of the lead detective to make sure that it gets there? Because the reason this evidence needs to get there is so that it can come back. Because when it comes back, it could hold further questions. You could go and recall everybody. It would hold information on this case. You guys could go back on it. That's never been done. You know, so if he's the lead detective in this case, should he not be punished? Same along with the evidence person. Should that not happen?
Where are we at on the evidence? Is it squared away?
Yes, sir. It is squared away. Just to let you know, I did submit back in, I believe, 2011 or 2012, a requesting of an updated software program that would take care of evidence that might be sitting on a shelf or would log it better, and that was denied. I don't know for what reason.
Who denied it?
I have no idea, sir.
Chief, did you deny it?
But it may have been denied by me.
At that time, Lieutenant Spidell and Detective Sergeant Moses Marquez were both taking care of that case, and Lieutenant Spidell, who was my supervisor at the time, advised me that we were head over heels with cases and that she was going to take care of that case.
You guys got anything else?
Okay, well, last time we were here, Officer Marcus said that 2 years passed, he hadn't heard anything. He was a good cop, he found a mistake and he took it to Santa Fe. What he didn't tell you was, the DA called him, asked him, how come that evidence hasn't been sent in after 2 years? And the reason he hauled it to Santa Fe was because trial was docketed for the following month. That's why he hauled it over there. You know, that's why. I have a couple questions I'd like to ask. Officer Moses Marcus, if you had a loved one in their shoes, like Dave Campbell, and he was just thrown out, would you be happy with the investigation that's been taking place today on that case?
I don't know the information regarding that case, so.
As far as everybody knows, what's been published, what you've heard here, he's been at last two, would you be happy with the investigation?
No, from what I heard, no.
Okay. Officer Castaneda,
Yes, ma'am.
if it was your loved one that was beat to death and stomped on, like my son was, would you be happy with the investigation that's being conducted on my son's investigation?
Oh, ma'am.
Sir, They can't trust each other. How can we trust their investigations? Okay, now I got one more question for you. Dobbs is investigating Castaneda's, paper tells me. Okay, so Dobbs has a complaint on him. Who investigates him? As we can clearly see, the system does not work. They should not be internally investigating each other. They ride side by side. So no wonder nothing's getting done. Everybody that has...
I agree with you on that, Lisa, and that's one of the policies that we as a council are looking at in the process here, is the last thing we want is the fox watching the hen house.
Exactly.
Okay, so we are looking into policy changes there, that when we do have a complaint, we don't have our own police investigating our own police because our department is too small to do that. And we're looking at changing policies in order to bring in state police wherever we have to handle our internal affairs. I mean, believe me, there are major changes coming in everything that we're doing with that police department.
Because so far what I've read, what I've seen, what I've heard, what I know, everybody that is in authority in the Grants Police Department is not doing their job.
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody is. Nobody's being held accountable. Nobody's doing anything for this community.
We're trying, and we're running.
I certainly hope so, gentlemen, please.
Okay?
Mayor,
Thank you.
if I may, everyone has had an opportunity to talk yesterday.
You bet. Go ahead, Moses. Step up.
I just want to clear something up. These two cases are apples and oranges, so we cannot compare the
Yes.
two. To clear something up for Ms. Raines, I was the lead investigator at the time because I knew the most information by being the first responding officer, and that helped the case.
Why was I lied to about it? Why did she tell me she was? And why did she tell me she would take you off the case right away?
Within 5 days, there was 2 arrests, the 2 responsible. That was mine and Maxine's doing. After those 5 days, the Raines had expressed, for whatever reason, that they didn't want me on the case, so I took a step back. Maxine did assume the responsibilities. Like we said last time, she was John's supervisor. They talked about the evidence. We knew a pretrial was coming up, so I checked the case file for those evidence returns from Santa Fe. Once I realized it wasn't sent, I contacted the DAs. They didn't contact me. We contacted them and let them know. They were actually very upset, and I may still have the message from the investigator. So I found it and contacted them. It's not the DAs doing all the dirty work, so to speak. We've done everything that we needed to. We've made 2 arrests within 5 days, and we're now working with the DAs to make sure that one of those parties is held accountable for his actions. So that's probably why you were told it was me, it was Max, and then she's gone, now it's me. She continues to, the Raines family continues to ask for me to be removed.
Yep.
It's only going to hurt the case. But like I said, anytime I need to contact them or something comes up or changes, I go through the DAs. I'm doing my best to stay in contact. So this case is in good standings. It is apples to oranges. We cannot compare it to any other case, whether it be Mr. Campbell's or any other homicide that has occurred in Grants.
Okay, the reason we asked for Mr. Marcus to be removed from our son's case is because there were a lot of people there at that party that night that watched my son die. 20 to 30 people stood around and watched him be beat. Stomped on his head. He did not tell what nationality my son was. He didn't have a head. His head sat on his shoulders like a pumpkin. He was black and blue, literally. You could not tell what he looked like. The reason we asked him to be removed from the case was because a lot of those people at that party did come and talk to us. And they let us know the first thing that you said when you walked through that door was, I've seen worse. Well, I want to know what's worse than death, because my son died there. What is worse than that, gentlemen? What is worse than that? Then you called my daughter told it to you. My daughter is Dion. She works with 13 judicial districts. Okay? That's why this case had to be conflicted out. She talked to her. You argued with her. You argued with her that he's seen a beating. He has seen a beating. She has seen a beating in her line of work. They both know this was not a beating. I'll bring you a picture, because a damn blind man would have told you. You think those pictures are bad? Whoa.
Mr. Mayor?
That's why I wanted him removed. That's why we wanted him removed. It shows drastically he didn't take this seriously from the beginning.
Her son did not
I
die.
understand how upset you
My
guys
son
are.
did die there. He was pronounced dead at the hospital, but he died there.
Her son did not die in my presence. He was breathing. He was moving. and immediately following, the ambulance took him out of the residence, and within, 5 minutes, they had let me know that he had passed. So he didn't pass in my presence. I would have done everything I could, just like I have.
But that's okay about the comment. That's okay that he can be callous like that, no empathy.
No, that's not okay.
My son was not an object. My son was my son, I had him.
I apologize if you mistook my words. However, this was your complaint from the beginning.
And I wanted you off because I don't think you're taking it seriously. At that time, you're saying stuff like that, you're arguing with my daughter. No, I don't believe you're going to do a good job.
The conversation with your daughter, I did retract because I didn't see your son long enough to tell her what had occurred. So I did tell her, I apologize, and we went forward with our investigation and we made the arrests. So yes, we did have a conversation. It wasn't an argument, so we did have a conversation.
It was an argument.
Okay, guys, that's neither here nor there.
That's
We're,
correct.
we're moving forward now.
That's correct.
Okay, and we're going to continue to move forward. Yes, Mike.
We've heard from all the parties, and a lot of this is more appropriately settled in a courtroom. And the chief and the lieutenant have worked on the list that we gave them. I recommend that we let them continue to move forward. They have been moving forward for the last 2 weeks. And I recommend that the council move forward with the agenda.
I was told in the beginning that I was allowed to speak for 3 minutes.
Go ahead.
I spoke for 1 minute.
Go ahead.
Okay, I've got
Go
more to
ahead.
say on my presentation, and this is a very short presentation compared to the other one because I'm
Go ahead,
straightforward and
Bill.
to the point.
Go ahead.
Okay. First off, we've established that my brother's evidence is in a locker for 3.5 years. That's unacceptable. I'm very upset about that. There's no way. You see the pictures, you saw the photos. I've never seen those photos. I don't want to see them. I told the mortician to make my brother look like he was sleeping. But I have documents from the mortician because John Castaneda and Dr. Aurelius thought, oh, well, his eye socket busted along the way. No. In order for a dead person to bruise or swell, they have to be alive for blood circulation. I've done my homework. We've established that. And this evidence is crucial for the medical examiner to be able to do their jobs. I was told 2 weeks. Okay, so I've been doing my homework. I've been researching tampering into evidence and laws, found out from some very interesting things, and I've read some law books. 3.5 years, I'm a little frustrated, you think? Okay. This is from a law book. Tampering with evidence consists of destroying, changing, hiding, placing, or fabricating physical evidence with the intent to prevent apprehension, prosecution, conviction of any person, or throw suspicion of the commission of a crime upon another. What do you think the Grants Police Department's doing to me right now? They're tampering with evidence. And that's a 1st to a 4th degree felony. And I will, come hell or high water, do everything I can with my money to press charges. I want something done now. As I said before, you gave him 2 weeks to do his job. That's fine and dandy. He hasn't done it yet. Also, state police has stepped in. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. State police has stepped in and offered their assistance. I'd like the role play here. Have you guys talked to state police? Have you asked for their assistance? Because it's my understanding that you did not ask for their assistance. They have stepped up to the plate, and they are offering, Chief Caceres, the chief of state police in Santa Fe, is offering the assistance to Grants Police to do their job on my brother's case. They have not. That's their case. They stepped up to the plate again. I did it again. I made way. Okay? For the second time. The first time he denied me. This second time, the help is there. As he said in the last city council meeting, we don't care. State police can take over, blah, blah, blah. They have the assistance. I would like a comment.
Is that true, Chief?
I have not heard anything from state police.
Right.
Whether he's gone to them or not, I don't know. Like I told him the last time, he can go to state police and ask for their assistance. And
Unacceptable.
See if they can handle this case or come in and handle the case. Apparently, he was denied, and that was by state police.
I do believe I have the floor here. Marty Vigil spoke with state police chief. I think his name is Caceres in Santa Fe. And Marty Vigil is not available here tonight, but he has offered to help them in their investigation, and he has conformed with John Castaneda. So if Chief Senna doesn't know, Chief Senna didn't even know OMI was in Albuquerque. He thought it was in Santa Fe. I mean, these guys don't know what they're doing. I'm telling you the truth. I have no reason to lie here, okay? John Castaneda, were you informed by Marty Behill that state police was available for you?
I have not to hear that.
Okay. Okay, I'm not done. This is the last of my presentation here.
Go ahead, Bill.
Okay.
Your 3 minutes are up.
Right. Go ahead. Okay. I think that's about it. I think I've said all I had to say. We do know that my brother's evidence is still in the locker 3.5 years later, like Ms. Raines was 2 years later. That's unacceptable. We have not heard back from OMI, have we? Do we have some type of letter? Do we have anything? I'm speaking to you, boys.
From OMI?
Yes.
If you were paying attention earlier, I had mentioned that we were going to meet with OMI, and my understanding is the DAs are going to invite you to that meeting. So it is moving along, Mayor. Gentlemen, it's moving along. I'm working it as fast as I can. He's not being ignored, okay? And I'm continuing to move forward. If state police is willing to help me, then I will definitely seek their help. At this point in time, I'm going to work on the list that was given. Your instructions were for me to do that, and I'm going to continue to move forward. No matter how much ridicule or how much write-ups in the paper or however bad I look, I will continue to move forward. I'm not denying any of that. I will continue to move forward and work as diligently as possible, along with all my other duties.
I'm closing my presentation now, but I do have one more thing to say. Chief Castaneda, I'm sorry, not Chief Castaneda. I don't want all the blame on Castaneda because I have met with him over 70 times and he appeared to be a friend. He appeared to be doing his job, but nothing was ever done. That's my complaint with him. More is my complaint with you, Chief Senna. I don't feel like you're a very good manager, number one. I don't feel like you're a very good leader as far as the police department goes. You need to be held accountable because you are the one in control. This can't go all on John. Okay, that being said, okay, I do think that he has one thing going for him though. He knows how to protect his department. And that being said,
thank you.
That being said,
thank you, Bill.
That being said, that is the reason why I found out with talking to a high-priced attorney that I was recommended to, is that there is a statute of limitations on tort claims. Little did I know. And he told me, gee, I wonder why they hid everything under the rug for 3.5 years. Because your tort claim would be expired. I'm in it for $70,000 at this point, okay? And I'm not going to put a dollar amount. It's probably more. Pain and suffering, vacations, doing everything I can to make my disabled family happy. Responsible. Bad. I think that you are the leader that it bosses him. And that's where I'm ending.
We got it, okay?
I got it, okay.
We got it.
That's where I
We
close.
appreciate
And
you coming
thank you,
tonight.
Mayor and City Council, and you guys have a nice evening.
Thank you very much. Radio Chief, engineering.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, go right ahead.
Please, I stand behind my officers. These are good officers. I hear this stuff, well, we had this happen. I've got good officers working here for me, and they do the jobs to the best of their ability. And yes, I ultimately am responsible for anything and everything that happens at the police department.
Amen.
That'll work. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council. The project I'll be presenting this evening is Radio Street infrastructure improvements. Our staff has been working with the Northwest Council of Government, and we have targeted CBG as a source of funding, Community Development Block Grant. We submitted the funding application last Friday, and we are scheduled to present our project to the Community Development Council June 30th. And our project, it'll be ranked on a readiness standpoint, and at that point, we'd like to prove engineering is underway. At this time, we are asking Council for consideration and approval of a task order to perform professional engineering services under our on-call contract in the amount of $33,286.80. One thing I would like to note is this task order is contingent upon CDBG funding.
In other words, guys, we don't pay if we don't get the grant,
Exactly.
okay?
And it'll just give us
Any other
points.
questions? Is that plus tax?
No, that is minus an NGRT.
That's without the tax?
Yes, sir.
Let's start putting a tax in there. Tell Jim to put the tax in there so we don't have to figure it out. We'll do. Anything else? Any questions? Any questions all? I'll entertain a motion.
I recommend we approve it. I'll second.
Counselor Quintana?
Yes.
Counselor Sandoval?
Yes.
Counselor Jenkins?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes.
Done.
Thank you.
Judge Larson, are you here tonight?
I am.
All right.
You don't recognize me out of work clothes? or
Yeah,
what?
I didn't recognize you in your gym clothes, girl.
I have packets for you guys.
I figured you did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And this is what we discussed at length.
Yeah, so this is what we talked about. What's included in the packet. In the envelope, I was supposed to drop those off to you guys sooner. I apologize I didn't, but that is the letter that I was asked by Mr. Pena to submit to Mr. Vincent regarding the letter that Mr. Vincent submitted to Mr. Pena. And I guess to catch some of the other counselors up, what's happening right now is the Cibola County Detention Center is trying to charge the city of Grants for thousands of dollars worth of medical care for inmates that have been incarcerated. They were incarcerated through the city of Grants, however, they have not been compliant with the contract that was entered between the county and the city. So I did put a copy of the intergovernmental agreement that was entered, and I highlighted for you guys paragraph 2 of the contract where it states that the county of Cibola will contact the city of Grants municipal judge for prior written authorization for any inmate requiring off-site medical attention in all non-emergency situations using an agreed off-site healthcare referral form. The second section that I highlighted, it says the City of Grants will not be responsible for medical charges incurred in non-emergency situations on or off-site unless such prior written authorization has been obtained. So number one, that's what the contract says that was entered. The second, which you see I marked as Exhibit 1, this was a letter that was sent to Mr. Pena by Joseph Sanders, who's the financial analyst for the county. And this was I respond, which is the letter that you had in the envelope. That was my response to Mr. Vincent. And then lastly, what I included was all of the medical bills and the pharmaceutical bills that we've been obtaining from the county facility, totaling over at least almost $20,000. Now my issue with this, and I could be wrong, and I know it's probably not fair for me to make accusations since I am the judge and everything, but okay, so when I ran that audit,
yes,
back, I guess it was the beginning of this year, the city collected almost $30,000 back from the county that we had been overbilled, and that was only in a period of 3 months. Now the court continued to try to do an audit with the county facility because I wanted to go back for that whole fiscal year so that I could see how much more monies we could recover that we were wrongfully billed, and the county shut me down. The county was like, we are not releasing our records, we will not give you the information you're requesting, your audit goes no further. So I pushed a little bit, but I continued to hit a wall, so I kind of just pushed back and I stopped. Well, now all of a sudden, our county inmate care went from like anywhere from $17,000 to $20,000 a month down to anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 on the high end. And so my fear, and then all of a sudden, now that the cost has gone down per month for inmates, we're getting hit with $10,000 medical bills on inmates that the court, by contract, did not even approve for these services. So we're getting hit now with prescription costs. 4 years that I've been municipal judge, and not once have I seen a prescription bill come my way. Second, we're getting hit with medical costs. Again, in 4 years, I've never had a medical bill. I even had an inmate where he was hospitalized at the emergency room. I went and visited him at the emergency room. I was able to release him to get the medical care he needed. They flew him out to Albuquerque, and unfortunately, he passed away. But I did not see a bill for those 2 days in the emergency room while he was an inmate through the city and staying in the emergency room. So I just have a huge problem, not that they want to bill us for medical expenses, but number one, I have a problem if they're not going to follow the contract that they proposed to the city and the city accepted, and it is written very clearly in there the procedure to follow. And number two, I really don't like feeling like this is retaliatory to the city, because the city is not here to be a moneymaker for the county. And it's not going to come through our inmates. And to compensate for the $15,000 to $20,000 we were spending monthly and to have it go down to $9,000 on average, to make up that cost, they should not be hitting us at the end of the month with these random medical bills. That was not procedurally followed.
And I agree with you 100%, and we're not gonna pay those bills, Judge. If they're not following the contract, we're not gonna pay them.
Then we should,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, we should have a itemized list of everything we're being billed for from the county, not just a bottom line figure.
And
Well, and there was medical records attached to some of
It
the
doesn't
medical
matter.
bills, so I just didn't want to like put
it doesn't
personal
matter,
stuff.
they've got to follow the contract,
I agree.
okay?
And what was I going to say?
Judge Larson, have you received any response on this letter to Mr. Vincent?
I have not. I just delivered it 2
Well,
days
what it
to
is,
Mr.
is-
Vincent.
and Mr. Vincent doesn't deal with her, he comes to Paul.
Yes, and I don't
He
really
tries to
appreciate that
ship the man
either.
to Paul. No, because you're a standalone, you're an elected official, period.
Well, and I want to be able to collaborate between myself and Mr. Pena and between, the mayor and council, because we all are the same governmental bodies of this municipality. So we need to be, collaborating and coordinating. But what I don't like feeling is that Mr. Vincent continues to try to overstep me and go to Mr. Pena, which I feel is unfair to Mr. Pena, because he doesn't have all the information, whereas I do. And I may not have it all. I totally understand and accept that as well, but I feel like I have a better understanding of the process of the court and what's going on and these inmate bills and medical services. And the reason when we were negotiating a new contract with the county that it said to contact the municipal judge is because of the fact that I have that authority. If they say this person needs to go to the hospital, I can turn around Saturday at midnight and say, I'm going to send you a release order right now. You can release that inmate, they can go get the medical care, so that our city members, our law-abiding community members, are not the ones who are footing the bill for inmates who choose to not abide by the common, city expectations. I just don't see jail as a luxury, and I really believe that inmates who are in there should not be entitled to thousands of dollars of x-rays and dental work when the city who is paying for this are the ones that are eating the bill. And I just, I was elected to protect the city and the community members, and that's exactly what I'm here to do. And I just know that it's probably going to ruffle some feathers, and so that's why I wanted to bring it forward to each of you so that you all understand where the court is coming from on this issue.
And I agree with you 100%, and we will back you as a council 100%.
You don't normally, as a matter of habit, you don't just approve any medical attention that's asked for, correct?
That is correct. I basically, and that's what, I know you probably haven't had an opportunity to read the letter that I responded to Mr. Vincent, but basically, each medical needs to be determined on an individual basis. Like, I feel like Mr. Vincent in his last letter was kind of like, well, if you would have approved it, then you need to pay it. But I feel like I don't have enough information to even make that determination. Do I know what was the need? What was the status of the inmate? Was it life or death? What was the person's charges and why are they in there? Is it a mandated sentence, or is it something that the court can turn around and look at and say, okay, he's been in there for 7 days. I'm going to go ahead and release him so he could seek the medical attention he needs. Each case before medical would be approved would have to be an individual basis.
How often does it happen where they request?
Never. It's never happened that they've requested medical care. Now, I have had, within the last 2 weeks, I do have Michael, I can't remember his last name, but he's the director of the medical detention at the county facility. He called me twice to indicate to me that he was going to give some type of prescription medication, and that it ran like $6.72. And I was like, okay, because that person was in there on a mandated sentence. I couldn't just say, release him. What I have advised is that the city will not pay for, and maybe it's inhumane, I don't know, but I've said that the city will not pay for any like ibuprofen or Advil because an inmate has a headache. That is not a luxury to be in there. I'm sorry you have a headache, but that is something you will deal with because the city community members will not be responsible for that type of medication. If it's an infection, we had a case where a young lady got committed and she had an infection on her finger when she went in, so they had to treat her with antibiotics. That's understandable. She had a mandated sentence that had to be served. So basically, in order to follow the law and uphold that, she had to be administered that antibiotic for her finger. Those type of situations are understandable, but when it's coming to dental x-rays on various parts of the body, and then they're being treated for these, that's just not something that we as a community should be taking on for individuals who choose not to abide by the law.
I agree 100%, guys, we're not gonna do that.
So is it the inmates requesting all this medical attention, or is it the county taking it upon
Well, I bet
themselves?
it's the inmates requesting and the county just doing it. I mean, some
Right.
of the guys that we picked up just here recently, and the chief can attest for, they walk around with a walking crutch and a cast on their leg, and then we're sending them off to have it re-x-rayed. Okay, I mean, they're getting free medical care on us, and that's why we have the contract like this, so that we don't have to pay this. And we're not gonna pay it.
And
That's
it's
the
just,
bottom
I
line.
mean, it's just not fair, you know, for us to get hit at the end of the month. Had I known of this and I had given the approval, then to get an almost $10,000
Not only that,
bill, then,
Judge,
okay.
the county has an indigent fund to take care of that crap, okay? So we're not gonna worry about it. We're not gonna pay. Your letter's fine. And, I mean, the county can follow the contract. They can call you and get the inmates released. They can get it okay. And if they don't wanna do that, then they can pay the medical bills, because we're not gonna do it.
And my cell phone number is posted everywhere in that detention center, so there should be no reason why they cannot call me night or day, anytime. I've told the lieutenants that, I've told the warden that, I've told Michael from the medical department. Even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, call me, because that's my job. That's what I'm here to do.
Judge, I haven't read your letter, but does it say in there, your letter to Mr. Benson, that if the county wants to provide medical attention to any of the inmates, they must call you?
Yes,
As per the contract?
Yes, I quoted the very same contract that we entered back to them in the letter. I actually did that with the first letter, and I did it again in this second letter. I also advised that, you know, I'm available 24/7. I advised that they have my number at the medical center, at the detention center, and that there should be no reason why this type of incident happens in the future if they're following the contract and if they're abiding by what they've entered with the
Good.
city.
Well, it sounds like you've covered all the bases.
I hope so.
You have to make sure, though, I think Mr. Vincent's just about to be gone.
10 days.
So you have to make
Oh,
sure
really?
you're ready to go.
Yeah, and it's
Actually,
Reagan
it was
Bond that's
handed
taking
to,
over.
it was handed directly to him. Now, whether he's read it or had an opportunity to review it, I can't answer that, but it was handed directly to him today.
Yeah, I think he'll be gone at the end of this
Oh,
month. Retired.
I was looking forward to meeting with him about this.
Reagan Vaughn is the next one in line.
No, you weren't.
Oh, no, I was. I really was.
Thank you, Judge. Oh, you know what, while she's standing there, guys, I was thinking as far as our detention with these inmates, so-called homeless people, whatever you want to call them, drunks in the parks. We have our ordinance set up that we fine them $300, right? State statute says we could do 500, right?
Right.
We might want to look at changing that ordinance and bumping that up, because 500 in court sounds a hell of a lot better than 300.
I agree.
Okay, and they'll pay it anyway, but it's that much longer to hammer them, and more to lean on them.
Unless you can get them to do community service.
Well, you know, and we were doing that too, and that's something that the police department's gonna have to deal with as soon as we can get cops hired, is they're gonna have to start taking these people out every single day. Because we were doing it with the county, they're bringing them out twice a week. Well, 4 hours a day, twice a week, that's 8 hours, but they're in there for a full week,
Right.
24/7, and
And-
it's not cost effective, it's not working.
Right, I kind of stepped back on that just because I want to see if we can come to a better resolution and understanding to get it done faster, rather
It's
than,
done every single day instead of on
Right.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 hours, I mean.
because unfortunately, when we were doing that a lot during the month of April, our jail bill kind of went up there a little bit higher, but it's because these individuals were being incarcerated a longer period of time to wait on the availability of the deputies to take them out on community service. So we are actually spending more in incarceration than, I guess, what the court had intended. So I kind of have stepped back on that. I want to get it started again. I
Yeah,
heard
we'll
there's a
get it
fence
started
that
again
needs
as
to
soon
be
as we
cleaned.
can.
Got
Judge,
inmates for that.
We'll get it started again as soon as we can.
I was
Yes.
thinking of probably using, I don't know if we can or not, this summer help that we hire every year, because we can hire like a security guard for the park area, the whole area, to level 3 or something, no weapon, no nothing, just uniform.
I would even be willing to go out there with them. I mean, I feel like I have a good working communication relationship with a lot of the inmates I deal with. But I know that I don't have the ability, if they were to run, or if something were a situation where it would hurt.
I mean, we hire someone else.
I do hit the gym, but I don't know, if I could still handle it, so. Anything else?
No, I was just gonna say that I have had this conversation with Chief Sena, if we can do that, and so I'll follow up on it.
Yeah, because supposedly we learned that there's a level 2, level 1, level 2.
Yes. I think I talked this over with you also, Mayor, didn't I?
Yes, we did.
You know, they, as long as they have a uniform, that might be enough.
And like I said, if they run, it's no big deal, let them run. Don't go chasing.
Yeah, we'll get them on, I mean,
We'll catch
it
them.
catches
Motorola,
up to them
catch them
eventually,
later.
right?
Remember you started?
They're not going nowhere.
You started going after them when you first started?
Oh, yeah, that was I did that just a couple times, and I quickly learned not to do that.
Not to do that.
You can't run as fast in high heels, You're like, doesn't work.
Anything else, Tiz?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Did a good job, Judge, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Penn, I appreciate it.
Library Board. Who's up for the Library Board? Ms. O'Connor. Come on up. We're glad to see you guys. How are you?
It'll work.
We're the library, look at all these books, and take a bag of books for $1, encourage reading, I don't know about that. Well, take a chance, it's only, it's going to cost you $1 for a whole bag of books. If there's something there you're not sure about, an author you've never read, you can take a chance on, a 10-cent book, whereas you have to go buy it in the store. But to do that, we've been having these book sales right out here in the parking lot. And we have to load up the books in boxes, schlep them all over here, unload them, schlep them back. So we were hoping to have a little
You
venue.
can stop right there.
Mhm.
I've already discussed this with the city manager. Your book sales will be going out of the Alco building.
Okay, good.
There's no reason for you guys to be moving that stuff. We're gonna empty that storage building over there as soon as we can.
Okay,
We're
good.
not gonna pay for that storage building no more. There's no reason that we should.
No.
Okay? And-
No,
and
not with
you're-
the big alcohol building.
Yes, me and Paul, we've already discussed this, guys.
Okay.
But thanks for bringing this to us anyway. And it seems like the more that we get over there, the more fruitful it'll look.
Yeah.
And, I mean, as we go through this and as we square things away, we do plan on putting money away for the library, but we gotta take care of the wastewater treatment plant first.
Oh, of course, yeah. We understand. We need healthy, clean water,
Yes, we
definitely.
need to quit smelling crap in the morning.
Yes, right.
Okay?
Okay.
We need to make that building more available to them with
Yes.
key. I mean, they shouldn't have to go to a librarian for a key just to do this work. Because they're doing that outside of our anyways, without our help.
They're moving everything over to the Alco building.
No, I mean, I know, but they need a key to get into the building itself. I mean, there's nothing for them, they're not gonna take nothing, they just wanna do something. So they need an extra key where they can just go do what they have to do.
We can take care of it, no problem.
Mr. Mayor, is
Yes.
there a possibility of us putting together a group and going to our state legislators and asking them for help at on the state level?
Yes, and we've got it on our ICIP list right now, okay, it's number 3. And now that we've got it in the budget to do North Hills Bridge, it'll bump up to number 2, line wastewater treatment plant. Because we're gonna do the North Hills Bridge.
If you remember Senator Terry T, he was
representative.
He had committed to $1 million. He had one, but he lost to Mr. Pierce. So if we can go to Mr. Pierce and say, hey, look, you had $1 million here, where is it?
Well, Mr. T was promising $1 million that he didn't have either, because the federal government ain't got no money, guys.
It's what he did.
I'm talking about the state level.
Yes, and I agree. Go ahead, Eileen.
I wanted to just add to
her comments. As far as economic development goes, the library is definitely high on the priority list, and it's what families look for when employers are trying to bring their businesses here.
Right behind the schools.
Yes, and so, but to the note of it being on the ICIP, in order for you to try to get funding from the legislators, it would be best if the city, the county, and the village had that item ranked at the same level. Just because it's in your top 5 and you all have it in different places.
Well, the other two don't even have it in their top 5. The county's got it at 19, and I think the village has got it at 28. Something like
I thought
that.
they were higher than that. But anyway, so there needs to be some collaboration there in order for it to be looked at for serious funding. So that's the consideration that you all need to look at to figure out if you're going to go to the legislature for funding. They want to see that you're going to collaborate collectively to try to make that happen.
We don't even have.
Is that, are those words from Senator Clemente, or?
Correct.
The county's not gonna do it, guys.
Yes.
County's not gonna do it.
Unless they're number one, then they might.
And then there are other funding sources, grants and such, but through EDA, Economic Development Administration. However, a grant was submitted by Ms. Casados for a library, and EDA does not fund libraries. However, if it was a technology center or a learning center, that would be funded, and the library could be the component that goes along with that. However, to have a technology center, you need to have fiber optics in order to accommodate all of that. So those are just some things to think of, and all of it is very critical to economic development. Thank you.
Go ahead, Marie.
What she's just saying about the technology center would be phase 3 of the architectural plans.
Yes.
And if we approach this in a phased manner, phased like the architects originally proposed, maybe we would make some headway. And I would like to suggest perhaps the city council could take lead, publicly, thank you, publicly champion the cause and encourage some of the talented people that we have living in the area to maybe come together with a grant writing committee to bring our talents to bear. It can't just be send us money, can't just be feds. Somewhere we have to commit as a community that we are putting some skin in the game. So, Felicia Casados and I wrote that first grant, and that worked, but, 2 people can't do it. We need encouragement to get a collection of like-minded, energetic people to help, in addition to all the official channels like she was just referring to. Every little bit would help.
Has your group considered, like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, that kind of thing?
Oh, we've gone through all of that stuff. They do not fund
They don't fund
libraries.
construction.
They don't fund, yeah.
All technology.
I've been through all of that.
So when we get to the technical page, we can
Right.
get them back again then, right?
Right. So that's one nice thing about having 2 functions in one large, related building.
And I'm Cecilia Stafford from the college, the library.
But
and
she's
I'm on
also on the board.
And I'm on the board. And I will say that Ms. Casados has said, if this comes to pass, that we have access through the college to things like the Hispanic serving communities, grants to help fund technology and that type of thing, that we could work with the city. We put all that together when we made the request to BNSF of all the various parts and pieces in this county and area that are working together. We got that money and nice plans, but those employees who put that money together, that was the largest amount of money BNSF ever gave out to an organization. And it was funded by employee
Yeah.
Payroll deductions.
Because what we said was we'd have the college working with us, the high school working with us, the city, all of these things, and we want to put together a good
cultural center for your employees and their families who live here, and they have nothing this many years later. And I have had personal conversations with retired railroad employees who were accusing the city of disappearing the money.
Well, the
I
money's
had
been
to take
spent,
him,
guys.
it's spent.
Okay?
Yes,
Make no doubt about
on the
that.
design. I
We didn't do anything with the money,
personally,
the money's spent.
no, I personally explained to him in great detail what happened to it. I took him over and showed him the things that you saw on the screen.
Yeah.
They are also posted on the wall in the library. I explained to him, and hopefully he took that information back to his other railroad contacts.
Well, I'll talk to the county, but I just don't see them coming on board and moving it up, guys. I just really don't. I mean, and I'm not gonna put it in front of the wastewater treatment plant because
No, that's
the
important.
wastewater
I mean,
treatment
you
plant is
guys,
costing us money every month right now in
right, we
fines.
fully
Okay.
appreciate the fact that city council has to prioritize what limited fundings there are. And
We've got it number 2, and I'm behind
That's
it
good.
100%. If we can get the wastewater treatment done, then
All right,
that'll
so-
free it up.
And so, allow me to say that this is what, the 7th year, and we've heard that every year for 7 years, and we know money's tight. Please try to find some energy and focus and help us make this a
We will.
reality for the young people
We
of this
will.
town.
I promise you we'll try. We'll try everything we can. We'll jump up and down with legislatures. I'll talk to the county. I'll talk to Milan, see if they'll come on board and move it up on their IC. I'm not gonna hold my whole breath on that. Okay?
Try to be optimistic now.
And I'm being very optimistic. I've been dealing with them for 8 years, Marie.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right, so I've been on the board since 2002.
Okay, so,
And
I mean, we'll work towards those ends, and we appreciate your presentation. And we will move you into Alco building. You guys can start selling your books out of there and all that good
Well,
stuff.
all right, thank you for that. I mean, that's a
Okay.
small step, but,
It's a step forward,
right.
and that's what we want to keep doing. Let's keep moving forward. Any other
Thank you.
questions?
Well, just be assured, Marie, that when the vote comes up, I know there's enough votes here on the council to get it done.
Okay.
But we have 1 or 2 things ahead of you, and then it'll happen.
Okay, let's hope so. Thank you,
You've
John.
not been forgotten. Okay, next we have repair the water valves. Ruben, you called for this one?
I have a little bit of information. I talked to Wayne today.
Wayne is here. He can tell us.
You want to come up, Wayne?
No, he doesn't want to.
That's why I sit in the back. Okay,
You thought since you sat on that side, you would.
yeah, well, I've talked to councilman, mayor, city manager. I've talked to Ruben about this and the city manager. We want to start a maintenance program on the valves, all the water valves that we have. Right now, we're having to, cut off about 4 or 5 valves just to work on one broken water line, and it affects about a 10 block area, so that doesn't help us any bit. So we want to start repairing valves probably from April to October, maybe 2 a month. And that would help us get along on the back parts of town, around Sage, Truman Park, the bad areas up here by the Loma. I got some prices on the 4-inch valves, 6-inch valves, and 8-inch valves. And the 4-inch is going to run around $500 per valve. The 6-inch will be about $656, and the 8-inch is about $1,000 per valve. But I think that will help us in the long run. We won't have to shut everybody off. We just shut off a certain block, and that's it. And the reason we were going to do it in the summertime is because in the winter we don't want busting more valves and we turn them back on or cut them off.
So what you're saying is the valves are so old that when we shut them off, the water's still running through them?
Yep. So we got to go to the next block and cut the water off there where the water's coming to this one.
Okay.
So
We put how much in the budget for this, Paul? 50 grand? Is that what I
I
remember?
suggested 50 grand. I don't know
So
what
that's
the
a
cost
start.
is gonna be.
That's a start, and we'll go through that this year and see what 50 grand gets us doing these valve repairs.
Is
So
it
go ahead and
by the
start,
labor?
put out a schedule
Okay. Does OMI provide the labor?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's part of their contract.
Yeah. Well, that's a cheap fix, so let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, they don't have to.
So go ahead and start putting out a schedule on it,
Okay.
the worst ones first,
Yeah,
because we've got the money in the budget, and we'll start on July 1st.
okay. Yeah, we did get I'm getting some paperwork from Bakers, they're on the state contract for water parts, so that'll help us, instead of going out for bid on everything,
Yeah,
we'll just go straight to them.
I don't even believe that we need council action on this, guys. Take care of it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Next, discussion on the golf course, request for proposal. Any questions on this? Guys, I've gotten so much stuff on municipalities across the United States, Arizona. What?
You missed 10?
Oh, you want to know the budget or? Oh, the budget.
Just slide.
We're gonna slide right on by the budget. I guess I could go through the highlights real quick on the budget, guys. And remember one thing, a budget is just that, it's a budget, okay? If things happen, we have to amend it, we will amend it. Okay, it's not a living document.
The budget that you guys will be approving tonight is a preliminary budget that goes to the state, and that is a summary of the budget of what you have here, and it's not the final. What we do with the monies in here as detail, then in no way will affect, tonight, approving what goes to the state. Because what we're doing with the state is we give them what we expect our resources are, what our expenses are, what our debt is. It's a summary.
Yeah,
Over the next 6 weeks, next three city council meetings, then you will have a chance to make changes to the budget, decide where you want money to be spent, how much money is going to be spent for different projects, and that'll all be done and be sent with our final budget at the end of July. Our final budget's due on July 30th, 31st, the end of July. So this one is just to give the state an idea of what we expect coming this next year.
Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead.
Under the tab where we have payroll, personnel.
Yes.
I have a problem with, especially with the issues that we're having right now with our police department. Now, I understand that to draw police officers to our town, merit rate, I think a signing bonus is a good idea, but I do not agree with giving our police officers a 10% raise that don't deserve it.
Amen.
And I think I've asked this since I came on board on the council. I've asked for some type of employee development rating kind of thing, and it has not been implemented. Paul, that's not your fault because we had another manager in place prior to you. But I think if you don't deserve the increase, you shouldn't get it. And these cases that have been brought to our attention is, first of all, is unacceptable. These type of the officers that are thinking that they should get an increase just because they are who they are, unacceptable. So I think we need to look at that. I don't know if we can do anything about that, but I think it should be based off of some type of employee development or evaluation, should I say, on how their performance is throughout the year, and then they can get it.
I agree with that, and over this next month, June and July, then those will be the exact items that the city council will be determining and deciding on. That exact thing.
Sure, and I don't know how the rest of the council feels about the 10% increase. I think that's a good thing. I mean, it'll get us to kind of that level where other entities are.
I'll tell you where I'm at with it, Michael, is all we've gotten is excuses about how we don't have no cops, okay? If we do this and we bump the starting wage to $17 an hour and we have a signing bonus, we are gonna steal officers from other places, okay? And that's what I want to do. I want to fill our ranks with experienced officers, not the clique thing that we've got going. And I don't care what anybody says, there's a clique in our police department. And we've got to take care of that, which we're gonna.
Mayor, I agree.
And
I totally
mean,
agree with that, but the thing that I have a
yes,
problem with is giving it across the
everybody else
board.
gets 10% raise.
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
and those,
We can
those are the
look at that.
details, yeah, we're gonna be looking, as a matter of fact,
We
the
can
mayor
look
and
at
I
that.
have been talking, and we
If
feel
you'll look
like
here, me and Paul were at it this morning.
in the June meeting, we want to try to,
That's why we want you guys to
have that
have your own
meeting
ideas.
for just almost specifically just budget. To start hashing over the ideas, things like this that you're bringing up. After you've had a chance, you'll have a couple of weeks to go through this. Okay?
You know, guys, and this is why we gave you this budget now, and this way we don't discuss it a bunch tonight. We'll just go ahead and we'll approve our preliminary budget and send it to Santa Fe. But I wanted you guys to have this for the next 2-3 weeks, so you guys can each go through this. Take the time and go through it. Not like before, we would get it the night we were making decisions on this crap. Okay, and this way, you guys can each come up with your own ideas of things that you'd like to see. Because if you look up there, curb and sidewalks, we threw $100,000 in there. Wells Park improvements, Riverwalk improvements, okay? I mean, these are things that we've...
Look through it. You might
and that's
wanna
why you guys
adjust
can
the
come up with
projects.
where you think these projects need to
Different
be
things.
done at, and what's going on. I mean, for instance, the college bridge is $462,000. It is in the budget, and we are gonna do it. We're gonna pay for it. We're not gonna wait for the study to help us no more. It's like waiting on the library and Mr. Campbell waiting on a murder investigation. It'll never happen. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna take care of it now, okay? And as you go down, I mean, Second Street, $750,000. The water valve repairs, we do $50,000 in there for that, okay? And this way, you guys get a chance to look at it. We're not all gonna agree on everything, but this way, you all come back with your own ideas, and then we'll move forward for this, okay? So what I'm asking for tonight is approval of the preliminary budget that we send to Santa Fe, which was just basically a cover sheet on what we've got in front of you.
This is an action item?
Yes.
Mayor, I recommend that we accept the preliminary budget and send it to Santa Fe.
I'll second it.
Okay, Counselor Quintana?
Yes.
Counselor Sandoval?
Yes.
Counselor Dickens?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes.
Cool, so done. Like I said, you guys got a few weeks, look at that and see what you want to do. Okay?
We'll have 2 months.
Now the next one is the golf course. Okay, and here's where I'm at with the golf course. I've done a little research, I've looked around, I've had some other people do research. Douglas, Arizona, closing their golf course. We're not gonna close ours, okay? Blanding, Utah, they're closing 3 of them.
Blanding Utah doesn't have a golf course.
Well, they're all around it. There's a bunch of them around there that they're, go on the internet, take a look at it, Paul, because I already have.
I live
And we're not closing ours, okay? But they're looking at shutting down 2 of them and only keeping 1. The city of Baltimore has 8 of them. And Albuquerque just sold 1. Okay? They just privatized it totally because they couldn't afford it no more. I mean, and these cities are way bigger than us. And if you look in this budget that's here now, there's $950,000 budgeted to the golf course this year. $950,000. How many roads could we do? How many sewer lines could we do?
How many abandoned houses can we tear down?
Yes, okay, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And that's why I want to put this out to RFP. I mean, actually, I'd like to outright sell it, okay? But we're not going to do that. I want to put it out to RFP, and this way we can get some ideas from people that are out there that do this for a living, could give us ideas on how much they want from us to do this.
I agree. I think that,
yes, what they provide, what they're asking us to give, okay? And this way we can get an idea, and maybe by September we can be able to move on this.
you know, we don't have to make a commitment. If we
Yes,
create an RFP, get it out there, we'll get a lot of information back.
Exactly.
And that's what we need.
Get it back, and then we'll make our decision from there. But my point being, guys, is I'm not gonna agree to this type of a budget at that golf course. No, 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 no more, ever again. Okay? And once we put this out to RFP, and we get the proposal that we want, and they come in, and let's say they want us to pay water and electricity, well, then our bill from the golf course goes from $900,000 to $40,000 a year. here.
I think, Mayor, on that note, I think what I would like to see, and I'm sure the rest of the council members would like to see, is a breakdown of the expenditures of the golf course on an annual basis.
It's on that sheet that I gave you guys.
And what I'm saying is, part of the money is spent.
Yes.
You know, why we're so high on expenses with the maintaining the
I
golf
agree.
course. You know, that kind of thing. If we can cut back a little bit at a time, then I'm good with it.
I would rather cut back all at once.
Well, we were $200,000 higher this year.
Yes, than last year.
Mayor, I'm gonna keep an open mind about this. You know how I feel about this.
Yes.
Okay, I'm very passionate about the golf course, but I understand that we need to do what's right.
Yes.
Okay, now, the problem, hold on, let me.
I have an answer to your question.
Yeah, and the only problem that I have is that when you bring up building roads, be careful with that. And the only reason that I say that, I agree with infrastructure, I agree with other things that we can do for our city. Building roads, we can't even build a mile of road for $1 million.
Oh, I know that.
Okay, so.
I know that.
We
We can
can't
do one block for $150,000.
And I know that, that's what I'm saying. We just gotta be careful when we say building roads,
Yes.
we can't just go ahead and throw that out there.
Yes, and I
We
understand.
gotta look
that.
at the expense on building the road, okay?
I understand
And
that.
you know what usually happens when we build a road in this town?
Yes.
We've gotta start from the bottom up.
And we're gonna
So,
continue to do that.
we've gotta be careful with that, and I wanna keep an open mind with that, okay, guys? We really gotta I mean, it's gonna take us some time. It's not just gonna happen in 1 year, 2 years, that kind of thing. It's gonna take us some time to get some money funded to start doing that in our town.
I would recommend that our RFP should have maybe 4 different options, 4 or 5 options, however many we decide we need, but different ways to possibly run the golf course, or lease the golf course to someone, or.
And I agree, and I think that once we get this out there, the people that are interested in it will come with ideas on it,
Right.
okay? Whether it's us play the water, whether it's us continue with the discharge permits, whatever it is. Because then in 2 years, when we do the new wastewater treatment plant, it's gonna change more because we're gonna be pumping clean water up there. We're not gonna be pumping our crap up the hill no more.
Yeah, but we've got to do something with the effluent.
Yes.
There's gonna be a lot of money there. I just
Yes.
have to put it in because I don't know, if we end up taking over the golf course like we were before with the employees and stuff, I have to have that in the budget. And that's the reason.
Are you gonna create the RFP?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Along with the lawyers.
Paul, does that
Along with
include a superintendent, which right now
No,
it's a vacant
It
position,
will
right?
depend
No,
on
the-
what happens with
the-
the RFP.
Yeah, no, right now, I plan on going ahead and putting out advertisement for a superintendent, because that's under the maintenance part of the golf course, and it's already in there. The only part that's changed is the clubhouse part. That's what's changed. So basically, what you have in there right now is you have in there the expenses if we run the golf course, and the expenses if we contract it. So we have it doubled in there is what it is.
So you have the budget for a superintendent?
That has always been in there.
It's always been in there.
Yeah.
And my point being here is, we really don't need to worry about hiring this guy right away, because if this RFP comes in, they're gonna hire their own people. Okay? We're gonna absorb the ones that we can, and the ones we can't, we're gonna cut loose. That's the way it's gonna go down, guys. Okay? And on that note, I'll entertain a motion to put this thing out to RFP.
I would recommend we create an RFP with the stipulation that we have about 4 or 5 different options, so we get as much information back from these folks, whoever provides us with the proposal, as much information back from these folks as we can. And we all need an education on this.
You betcha. I got a motion and a second. Councilor Quintana?
Yes.
Councilor Sandoval?
Yes.
Councilor Dickens?
Yes.
Councilor Lewis?
Yes.
Cool. Golf course is going out to RFP for release.
And I'd like to see the RFP before it goes out.
Oh, yes, definitely. We all will.
Yeah.
We'll approve it before it goes out, guys.
Right.
Okay? And then we'll see what we get back. Okay? Next one is ordinance 14-1204, participation agreement with Bencor. Did you guys get a chance to read that ordinance? It's just basically the agreement that puts the road in there and puts Walgreens on the map for us. Okay, any questions on it?
I'll entertain a motion to accept ordinance 14-1204, participation agreement with Vencore.
A second.
Counselor Sandoval?
Yes.
Counselor Quintana?
Yes.
Counselor Dickens?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes.
Chamber of Commerce fireworks. Come on up, Bob, and smile, baby. It ain't that bad.
Not bad at all. Gentlemen, Mr. Mayor, gentlemen of the council, my name is Bob Clark. I'm the interim executive director of the Grant-Cibola County Chamber of Commerce. And I come to you with hat in hand with a request for your financial support. This is a bit lighter than some of the things you have been considering this evening. However, in my judgment and the judgment of a lot of citizens, is pretty darn important. Every year, as you are aware, the Chamber of Commerce partners with the Rodeo Association, and we take on the task of the 4th of July celebration. We plan a parade as has been done in the past. This year the parade will have a very veterans-oriented theme, always a soldier. We will have, after the parade, we will have vendors in the parks, and it traditionally is an extremely enjoyable day. It's a family-oriented day, and it's something that kind of takes us away from the stresses that most of us have. The final event of the day is the fireworks display. Fireworks display takes place at the golf course. It's in the evening, and as most of you know, I have not been in this position for a terribly long period of time. Going through the files, I find that fireworks that are displayed that evening cost $20,000. That's a figure that is last year's figure, and I believe the years before. Historically, we have asked support, financial support. The city the village of Milan, Cibola County, and I'm coming to you tonight to request for the fireworks display a figure of half of that, which would be $10,000.
Okay, we gave 15,000 last year.
Well, then 15,000.
We gave 15,000 last year, and here's my question for you.
Yes, sir.
We gave 15 grand, the county gave 5 grand, and Milan gave 5 grand.
Correct.
Why did we only spend 20,000?
I cannot answer that. I was told in the files that I looked at internally that the city opted for $10,000. And if you,
my finance director's telling me something else.
We will.
Since she's got the check stubs that prove it.
Well, no, I'm not.
I'll go with her. Okay.
I'm not discounting what you're saying at all.
No, I don't have a problem with it, Bob.
Yes, sir.
But if we're gonna give 15 grand, which we've been giving, and which I support 100%.
We would appreciate that.
Okay, I wanna see $25,000 worth of fireworks now.
You got it.
I don't know where the other 5 grand went over the last few years, but if we're gonna give 15, then I wanna see $25,000.
You will see $25,000.
Any questions, guys?
Is the county and Milan kicking in 5 each?
Yes. Well, the county is, the village of Milan is, I appeared before them last Thursday night, I believe. They're receptive, but they have not finally made that decision. I understand they will.
If each one of them give $5,000, I'd recommend that we spend $20,000, not $25,000.
Eddie, you got anything on that? How do you feel about it? We've been giving 15,000 guys every year.
I'd say go with the 15, not 20.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we would provide 10,
Yeah.
but the total show would be 20.
And that's what we've had for the last, according to Bob, but the city's been giving 15 grand.
If you're spending 20, then we'll give 10, but if you'll put on 25, like the mayor.
We will put, yes, sir, and the figures that were given to me may have been in there, and that's a dumb thing to say, but 25,000 would certainly be a figure that we could put on one heck of a show.
Well, this contract that was provided in here from the provider was for $20,000. And, I don't want to see 6 more firecrackers for $25,000.
I can assure you that will not be the case.
They're going to bring a $20,000 show and then add a few 5-inch balls,
No, we will produce a with their help, a $25,000 show. And if it looks like they can't, then I'll come back to you and tell you that we only need $10,000.
Michael, you got anything?
No.
Good, Ruben? On that note, I'll entertain a motion for 15 grand for the fireworks.
I make a motion to give the 15,000.
I'll second.
Councilor Quintana?
Yes.
Councilor Sandoval? Yes. Councilor Dickens?
Yes.
Councilor Lewis?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Wait, we're not done with that. No, you go ahead, Bob. I want to talk to the chief now. Fireworks, chief. Here's where I'm at on this, guy. Susana Martinez, the governor that I do support, and this Democrat will be voting for her, and make that perfectly clear. She wants us to ban fireworks. She wants all municipalities across the state to ban fireworks. I'm against banning fireworks, okay, period, I'm against it. I asked the chief for stats on fires and life-threatening jeopardy and buildings and all that good stuff over the last 8 years. We've had 2 fires. They've both been brush fires. No lives were threatened, and no building was ever threatened. And on those stats, and on what I've seen over my entire life in the city of Grants, I can see no reason whatsoever to ban fireworks in this town.
We got nothing to burn here.
Okay? That's where I'm at. Chief, the stage is yours.
If it were me, but I'm not in charge, you wouldn't get to let out fireworks, but I'm not in charge.
See, now you sound like Keith Austin.
I just get to put them out. Very true. Over the past 6 years now, I have 2 confirmed cases of fireworks causing fires. I even brought a prop because we, do an investigation, of course, and this is what caused one of them. And the one of the bushes was June 28th of 2011. Nothing since then. Education and not strict adherence, because you can't be as strict as you'd like to be. These are illegal, by the way. You can't fire these according to the state, and that's who we fall under, the state purview of fireworks allowability. We will have 3 vendors in this municipality. 2 have already requested business permits for fireworks, Walmart and Smith's. I anticipate another one to go through shortly, hopefully, with the Knights of Columbus. They use theirs as a fundraiser. Me and my staff, we review their, when they set up, and we make a surprise inspection after they've set up to make sure that what they say they're going to sell isn't hidden away, and they bring out these nice $600 packets that will destroy an entire city block. So we go and view them when we're there. Mayor, I agree, it's traditional. It's something that we've done for many, many years. I would hope that nothing severe happens, but pray for rain. And on that note, I will probably be seeing you guys on June 3rd. Is that when your next meeting will be? And we're requesting a ban on burning until it starts raining. So letting you know that right now, that I'll be here at that meeting to say it's pretty darn dry, and the forecast is for even drier conditions.
You don't got barbecue grills in that request for no burn, chief? You're all right,
Just
baby.
on Gunnison. That's the only spot I'm going to have to put the ban on. It's just on Gunnison.
I agree.
and I'll support the same one we had last year. The forecast is that we should get early rain in July, but hey, you never know. Stand around for 50 minutes and the weather will change 3 times here in town. But it's extremely dry out there. We've had a couple spot fires here in town, but you can see we've had 22 fires here in the state already, and we're not even into the fire season.
Well, most of our fires here in town are caused by transients, homeless, right? Things along those lines.
or just those in Milan, whatever the case may be. That's where our 3 biggest fires have been recently. Yes, they're caused by that. And we are cleaning up the buildings that they can house and then make those happen. Reviewed a building over there behind Futures today that I'm going to be talking with the code enforcement. We're going to be trying to target that building because it's been 3.5 years and nothing's been done and it's still pretty much burnt. So, but yes, that was a place that was set by transit as well.
Chief, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Who operates these stands that are at various locations around town, like up by McDonald's, and is that?
Well, counselors, a lot of those are put on by fundraising activities, and have to be sponsored by somebody. But I'm telling you that those probably won't happen this year. And just Walmart and Smith's are the only ones that have addressed a business license concern, and we've got the paperwork already into City Hall.
Is there a deadline for the paperwork?
21 days before the 10-day limit.
So why are they not requesting?
Some of them, it's very costly. It's very costly to buy the product and then either not sell it, or have it be stolen, or have it be damaged by wind or rain. And it's very expensive. We had the one up there by McDonald's turned over one day during the windstorm. So, and Milan is going through the same concern. So I anticipate only 3, like we had last year.
And that doesn't include the stands that are out at Milan?
No, my jurisdiction is here in town, yes.
Mayor, I have a comment on that, and I totally support the fireworks, but I think we need to start looking as a city in prevention, and by this, I want to bring up enforcement of our weeds in our residential areas, our business areas, those kind of things, that dry weeds that have not been cleaned up for the longest time. If we can make sure that maybe, Marty, you can get out there and start writing some tickets if you have to. That'll help with the whole issue. Hopefully it'll assist a little bit with that.
And Councilor agreed with that, and code enforcement in the past few years has sent out numerous letters of concern to areas that they've seen that are dry and then just a tinderbox. So, and it's all about education and prevention. Yes.
And I agree there. I think that the education prevention is the biggest thing, and that's why we haven't had anything, because you guys do a fine job. Okay?
It's not just us.
And it's like I said, I mean, you all got the same letter I got in there from Governor Martinez. And this is...
And the governor has to look at the big picture.
Oh, yeah, she's looking at the whole state. All we're worried about is the city grants,
yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
And in grants, we're not gonna ban fireworks. That's where I'm at.
Well, she does that every year.
Yes, because she's the governor.
Well, we get that letter every
Anything else with the chief, guys?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, chief, very much. Okay, Scott, you're lining me up. I guess we should have moved you to the front. You look nervous and distressed, man.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, City Manager. Here on behalf of the City of Granson's Lodgers Tax Board. And in front of you, I guess you have
Hit us with the numbers, Chamber
the
of
awards.
Commerce.
If you're going, do you want them to act on each one individually?
Yeah,
That's the way it
Chamber
has
of
to
Commerce,
go.
how much?
Okay, option A, one on the list, the Chamber of Commerce is $142,500.
That's an increase of $2,200 from last year.
On Thursday, did it stay?
It was 140,000 last year, wasn't it?
It was 140,300.
Yeah, increase of 2,500.
And we're giving them
2,200.
2,500. You're good with that?
2,200.
The board's long good with it?
After, going over them, we kind of prioritized them, and they're kind of laid out the way that we prioritized them as a group, so.
Okay.
They do